Good evening. Welcome to our second Plainfield Parent Community Network event of the 2018-2019 school year. We're very happy that you guys have come out to the event. We have what I believe to be a very dynamic and exciting speaker that will be talking to us tonight about a lot of important things. Just to give you some background on our organization, Plainfield Parent Community Network was started in 2016. It is an idea of trying to gather all of our resources that we have in our very large district in one place to give you free parent university style events, information in a way that is relevant to the world that we're living in today. So our committee is comprised of myself. My name is Tim Alvarez. I'm the Director of Student Services for Plainfield School District. Jenny Hamby, a parent in our community. Corey Warden, another parent in our community. Nicole Nepper, another parent. She's with Right Away Wellness. Corey Warden is also with the Plainfield Counseling Center. And then Brian Soar, principal of Meadowview. Christine Belcastro back there. Counselor at Plainfield East. Kai Freeman, principal at Drought Point. Mary Ellen Miller, clinical director at the TAP program at Plainfield Academy. Am I missing anyone? I think I got everybody. All right. So that's who our committee is. That's what we're about. Again, it's our third year. If you go on to plainfieldparentcommunitynetwork.org, you'll see all the presentations that we've had over the course of the 3 years. Again, we try and keep it relevant to today's issues and struggles. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Screen Zombie, how to develop a healthy relationship with social media. This is something that myself as a parent struggle with my kids. We see it in our schools. So we've asked Jeff Bean, who's a local school resource officer, SRO, in the Chicagoland area, also a parent of 2 kids, and is local. So he's going to bring us a very unique perspective of both that police officer side of it, the parent side of it, and also kind of giving us an understanding of what that really means for our kids, for our families, in the world that we live in. So he's going to demonstrate a few of the apps that we have, and again, talk about some of his experiences as both a parent and an SRO. He is with Safe Schools for All organization, founded this year. Previously, another organization on bullying. So please help me welcome Jeff Bean.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you guys very much for the round of applause. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm a police officer in DuPage County. Been a cop about 20 years. I'm a resource officer at a junior high now. I'm a parent in this community. I've lived in Plainfield going on a decade, or a little over a decade now, and 3 kids, 2 in the school district. One's out now. He's done. I got a junior in high school, and I have a 6th grade daughter. So I'm right in the mix of it. I have been for a while, for good or bad. So once I heard about the Plainfield Parent Community Network organization, I attended one of their previous events. Thought it was great. They reached out to get in touch with me about this, and I'm more than happy to help. So thanks for having me. Before we get things started, just by a show of hands, parents with kids in elementary school that have maybe younger ones and you're looking for some information. Okay. Parents of kids in middle or high school and you're looking for information. Okay. Some one and the same. So we're in the same boat. Okay. We'll get things started. Thank you guys for coming out. That's a little bit more about me. I've been a cop 20 years. I've been dealing with juveniles the majority of my career. Back in 2012, I started my first business called Act on Bullying, and it was specific to cyberbullying, social media, online safety. Being a full-time police officer and a father of 3 kids, it's not like I have a ton of time. So the business got started out of necessity. We had an incident in our own community where I worked, where unfortunately, almost a decade ago now, a young lady tried to take her own life due to cyberbullying on Facebook. So I was the officer that had to investigate that. I did a bunch of research. I started to talk to the kids a lot more specifically about it. At the time, I was a DARE officer. The DARE program at the time had nothing on cyberbullying, had nothing on internet safety. So I basically bastardized the DARE program and started to do my own thing. What helped me along the way was talking directly with the kids. So I did anonymous surveys to kids in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade in my community, and I got a lot of answers about the apps they used, the problems they're having, what's going on So then I took it one step further and I created my own fake apps. So as a police officer, I was on there as a kid. I was a 14-year-old boy. I lived in Aurora, Illinois. I had a fake name and I used a screenshot, which was Stewie from Family Guy, if anybody's familiar. I didn't use my own picture, and I was a little tentative at first, worried about who I should friend and who I should follow. So I talked to the schools, the deans, the counselors, the principals, the teachers. They told me, here are some kids we're concerned about in our school. So those are the kids I went after first. It floored me how quickly the kids friended me. So I was a fake, made-up person using 3 different social media accounts, and within 10 days, I had kids friending me. They don't care at all about their safety when they're online. They're having fun, they're minding their business, they're doing their thing. So in a very short period of time, I was friends with hundreds of kids in my community, okay? I then went back and did more research, starting with 4th graders 2 years later, and I did the same survey with 4th through 8th graders, and I got very similar results. Cyberbullying is a big problem. We don't act right when we're on there, and we need adult intervention and adult help. So I would impart that during their classes and talk to them about it face to face, and they knew I was on social media, and it didn't stop them from the negative behavior. So unfortunately, the business was started out of that, and other communities heard what I was doing and called me, and eventually after doing several things like this, I created my own company. I've now advanced that I moved it on to Safe Schools for All, where I'm involving a lot more physical security, safety, active shooter, armed intruder. I do all kinds of stuff, but this is my bread and butter, what I'm doing tonight. So I've been speaking at conferences across the country. I enjoy it a lot, but what I really enjoy is talking to you guys and then dealing with the kids and having events like this for students. That's really where I think I can help the most. So let's get things rolling. We'll have plenty of time at the end for questions. Our kids live in a digital world. When I started my company back in 2012, there were still questions about that. Oh, well, keep a computer in the central part of the home so you can monitor what your kids are doing when they're on there. Think about that. That was just 7, 8 years ago, okay? That's just a thing of the past. They all have their smartphones, they all have their devices, they all have their laptops, whatever it is, and they're on social media and they're online all the time. If you have a high school student, talk to him or her, the #1 form of communication for high school kids is Snapchat. It's not texting, it's not calling, it's not talking face to face. It's literally Snapchat. That's how they communicate. That is their #1 source of communication. So there's no more, well, maybe it's not as bad, or, well, we can limit it, or whatever. That's all gone. The horse is out of the barn on that one. So this is the world they live in. We gotta be prepared for it. Here's a typical being a kid for a day. This goes down to as young as 3rd grade. All right, when I started, junior high was where I wanted to get. I wanted to get those kids because they're just getting started. All right, now you have to rewind it a few more years. We have 3rd graders with their own smartphones. We have 3rd graders who, even if they don't have their own smartphones, are on multiple gaming apps and social media apps. Their parents know about it, okay? So it's getting younger and younger. The typical day for a kid, it's right there. They're using multiple apps, they're online quite regularly. They sit, watch TV, do their homework, and they're on their phone all at the same time, okay? They're multitasking. For the most part, in this end of it, they're having a good time, they enjoy it, they get to be creative, have fun, and communicate with one another. Here's the other part of it, the part they don't like, and the part we end up having to deal with, and school counselors end up having to deal with on a daily basis. The misuse, the excessive use, all right? That's on us, everybody in this room, okay, when we're allowing it to happen. The exclusion, the judgment, the isolation. Something as simple as TikTok, which used to be known as Musical.ly, which I'll get into in more detail, there is exclusion and isolation. Some of it intended, some of it not. 2 girls do the same music video. They do it at the same time. They post it. One of their friends likes one of the videos and comments, "Good job," but doesn't like the other girl's video and doesn't comment. Turns out the reason she didn't like the other girl's video or didn't comment was she was eating dinner. But that was 30 minutes. During that 30 minutes, the girl who also posted the video but didn't get the like is crying in her bedroom, wondering why. Our good friend liked hers but didn't like mine, okay? That's when it's done unintentionally. That is also done intentionally. Our kids are dealing with that on a regular basis. The cyberbullying, the sexting as they get older. And when I say older, I don't mean high school. I mean junior high. In my community, 4 times this year. 4 times I've been at the junior high for sexting issues. That's happening in every community, okay? That's not something we can hide from anymore. Inappropriate content. It's constant barrage. One of my favorite stories was when both my boys, who are now 19 and 16, they didn't get their first smartphone until they were in 8th grade. 13 years old, you can have your smartphone, you can have 2 apps. And I think when my son was in 5th grade, he said, so I still have to wait 3 years to get a phone when my buddy who's in 4th grade has a smartphone. Who's your buddy? Nick, right down the street. You're lying. I know his mom and dad. Nick does not have a smartphone. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you anymore. Let's just walk down and see. I saw Dad out mowing the yard, so I went down to my neighbors, said hi. Hey, what's going on? Not too much. How you doing? My kid tells me your kid has a smartphone. Yeah, crazy, huh? Are you kidding? And he's like, no, we went because the oldest is going to college. So we went and got a new phone plan and new phones. They gave us an iPhone for free. So, you know, Steve, yeah, is this the same 4th grader that you don't trust to walk to the park, which is 5 doors away, after dark? But he has a smartphone and he has the internet at his fingertips now? Oh, yeah, wow. The next day, that 4th grader was at my house playing and yelled at me because the phone got taken away. They did something else. So it's happening younger and younger. We're exposing them to all this inappropriate content. Remember movies, remember TV shows, everything has ratings, right? But we're giving 8, 9, 10-year-olds smartphones and they can access the internet. Sometimes it's very hard for them to deal with and it can be overwhelming. Some simple quick stats for you. Pew Research Center, which is a great resource for anybody interested in stuff like this. This is the most current one I could find in 2018. Kids, we'll say from 8th grade and up, 95% have smartphones. 72, 69, 51. As you can see, Facebook is fading fast. When they get on there and grandma says hi, they stop using Facebook. My son sent 1 message on Facebook and then never touched it again. 45% of kids ages 13 to 17 admit to we're online constant. That's just what we do. It's constant. Now let's move to the younger kids. 12 and under. 39% have smartphones. This is 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds, 3rd, 4th, 5th graders. Almost half of 12-year-olds, or a little over half of 12-year-olds, are using social media. I don't have any research from this one, from Ofcom, which is in England. It's very good, but I'd love to know how many are multitasking, how many have multiple apps. When I do my stuff in my classrooms with my 3rd and 4th graders, kids have at least 2, if not 3 social media apps at that age. Whether they have their own device or not, they have the apps. I have Snapchat, I have Instagram, I have TikTok, I have, there's a bunch of others, but those are probably the 3 most popular ones which we'll talk about today. So the stats are getting a little scary to me, okay? They're getting younger and younger, and at the bottom, this is again where it falls back on us. Over 40% of parents are saying it's fine. When I talk to these kids who are 8 and 9 years old, 10 years old, and they say, yes, I have social media, only about 10% of the kids in my community say my parents don't know. The rest of the parents know. They show them how to get the app, they show them how to create a fake age, and, you know, lie about their age and get on there, okay? So everybody keeps talking about millennials, everybody keeps talking about, oh, these kids nowadays. It's everybody in this room and everybody who has kids that's allowing it to happen. So that's what we're here to help with today, because trust me, the kids are getting overwhelmed, okay? Especially at the younger ages. The revolving door in the counselor's office at my junior high, 75% of the problems is social media. It's not, I'm not getting along with this kid in class, or she said something mean to me in the hall. It's, I can't be on the bus with her anymore. She used to be my friend, she backstabbed me, she shared all my secrets, she posted that picture, he posted that picture, he promised he wouldn't. It's a mess. And the majority of people that end up dealing with it are the schools. So here we go. Let's jump into the 3 main ones that I'm here to talk about, and then I'm happy to answer any questions too. Snapchat. Statistically speaking, I don't know if it is officially number 1, but it's number 1. The next time anybody does some research on it, it has definitely surpassed Instagram as the most popular app for kids. Lots of good stuff about it, okay? child Snapchat or dabbled in Snapchat yourself, it's fun. It allows them to be creative. What I like about Snapchat is it's a little more private action, okay? So on Instagram, on Facebook back in the day, you had 200 friends, 200 followers, whatever it was. Anything you posted, they saw. Snapchat, you have to allow them, accept them as a friend or a follower. You can send it specifically to who you want to send it to. It's very easy. So you can limit the amount of personal information they're sharing. It's a lot more private, so from a safety standpoint, I do like that a little bit. Age requirement for all of them is going to be 13 years old. Kids can direct message, DM. Okay, so there are some downfalls. Group chats. Has anybody witnessed their child's group chat on Snapchat? Wow, that'll melt your brain. It's like, it started with 4 kids, and then it's 11 kids, and then some of the kids are in there that my child doesn't even know, and then some inappropriate stuff starts flying around. It's very interesting to see the group chats. Snap stories, they can stay up for 24 hours, but the pics, just like they claim, can be gone very quickly, okay? We're gonna get into why that's a little bit false from a kid's standpoint, because the kids feel very safe because of that. They like that option. They think it just goes away, and realistically, it does not. So, I put up a little picture of my daughter's old Snapchat, okay? Use her as my guinea pig. The app gives kids a false sense of security with the disappearing logo, okay, or the disappearing guarantee. Number one, it doesn't leave Snapchat. Snapchat still has full access to all that stuff. Number two, if any of you do not know how long it takes to take a screenshot on your phone, it's about 1.5 seconds. So if you put up a picture for 10 seconds, any kid that receives it can screenshot that, save it, and it's theirs, and they can do whatever they want with it. An example I will share that happened in my community a while back, a 6th grade boy that is active in paintball with his friends got a new paintball gun. It is an AR-15 rifle, but it's a paintball gun. His parents bought it for him. He took a selfie. He posted it on Snapchat. He sent it to 5 kids that play paintball with him. His caption was, "This is what I'm going to kill you with, LOL." The 5 kids that received it knew full well he got a brand new paintball gun. They didn't take it as a threat at all. Cool, wow, cool gun, I want one. One of those 5 kids screenshotted it because he liked it so much, put it on his Instagram, and made a comment along the lines of, "I want one." That Instagram had 150 kids on it. The 150 kids saw the picture. One girl is sitting at her kitchen table. She sees a picture of her classmate, who she barely knows, but is in class with them, holding a rifle saying, "This is what I'm going to kill you with." Tells her dad. Dad calls 911. There's a kid that's going to shoot up the school. Between the time the boy posted the picture to the time 2 police officers were knocking at his door was about 80 minutes. Ding dong. "Hey, Officer Bean, what's up? Your mom or dad home?" "Yeah, okay. What's up?" "Nothing." "Come on in, we gotta talk to your mom and dad." "Where's your phone?" "Huh? Where's your phone? Get your phone." "Hi, I'm the police officer at the school. I know your son. I'm here to talk to you. Can we go in the kitchen and sit down?" "Sure." "All right, your son posted this picture," and I printed up the 8x11 sheet of paper. The mom right away, "Yeah, that's his paintball gun. We just bought that. Where did you get this?" He posted it on Snapchat. Number one, mom and dad didn't know he had Snapchat. Number two, he shouldn't have posted it on Snapchat. Then he said, "Well, I didn't send it to any of those people." "No, your friend did. You sent it to 5 kids. One of those 5 sent it to another 150 kids. People at the school think you're going to shoot up the school." Oh, that's the kind of stuff that can happen. The pictures do not disappear. And this happens with regularity in lots of communities. The kids need to be in ghost mode. If your kid has Snapchat, if you have Snapchat, make sure you are in ghost mode. Ghost mode is in the settings, and it turns off your geolocation. So as you can see in the top, I left it very vague so I don't identify these kids. That is a little picture of my daughter's Snapchat friends. They invited her to play at the park by Charles Reed Elementary. When she looks at her Snapchat, those are their little Bitmojis standing at Charles Reed Elementary Park. The map is around them. So those kids, if they have 10 Snapchat friends, or 110 Snapchat friends, or 500, anyone that has Snapchat with them will know exactly where they're at. So you have to have your kids go into ghost mode, go into the settings, turn off the geolocations. Most of them know how. All right? An example of why that's bad. A young lady helped her friend get Snapchat. These were 7th graders. The young lady that helped her friend get Snapchat eventually got mad at her friend. Shock. They fell out of friendship. She had her password and her username because she helped her create Snapchat. She used the password and username, invited 20 plus strangers to the girls' Snapchat page, some of them being adults. The girls' geolocations were not in ghost mode, and a 21-year-old man drove his car to where she was, saw her picture, knew who she was friends with her on Snapchat, yelled her name. She ran, went home, told mom and dad. Thankfully, we got a vehicle description, and we found out who the guy was. When he showed us the phone, he's like, she friended me on Snapchat. She sent me a follow request. So technically, could we arrest him for anything? No, unfortunately we couldn't. All right? The girl then said, well, I never friended any of those people or followed any of those people. Her page was hacked because her friend had her password, the geolocation was on, so the strange man was literally able to drive up and find her, know her name, and say hi to her. Okay? So you gotta be in ghost mode. Exclusion is a big issue for this. Sexting is a problem as they get a little older. The good part, and it's a bad part for kids, but it's a good part for me. Screenshots, when you take a screenshot on Snapchat, everybody in the group chat, for example, knows you just took that screenshot. It notifies them. So in that Snapchat I was referring to in the group chat with my daughter, 2 boys in particular were being really nasty. My daughter said something to try and defend her friend against these 2 boys. They turned on her. The comments from these 11-year-old kids and some of them 10-year-old kids got pretty graphic. So I saw this because at the time my daughter did not have a phone. She was using Snapchat through my phone. I screenshotted the group chat. As soon as I did, 4 little friends went, oh my God, why are you screenshotting? Stop it. Oh my God, what are you doing? Don't take a screenshot. So then I talked to my daughter about the kids, about what happened. She said, yeah, the kids that are picking on her are my friends. They're normally nice, but they were really mean. So we had a conversation. Are they really your friends? Look at what they posted. Look at what they said. So I said, look, I'm monitoring you. This is your trial run. You didn't do anything bad per se, but these boys, I want them off your Snap. They don't belong here. They're not mature enough. They're not acting right. You can keep Snapchat, but you block and delete them. That's number 1. Okay, fine. Then number 2, just so you're warned, I screenshotted 2 images. So every kid in that group chat knows you screenshotted. They don't know you have it on my phone, right? No. Okay. Now you have to have a conversation with your friends. Number 1, I have to block you 2 because my dad saw the nasty stuff you said. Number 2, my dad screenshotted all this, so please watch what you say when you're talking to me in a group chat because my parents monitor it. Okay? So that's helpful. My daughter didn't like that they all notified that the screenshot was taken. She felt like she was a snitch or whatever. Oh, she's going to be a rat. Well, whatever. This is the world you want to live in. This is how we're going to live in it. It's harder for us to monitor, okay, because things do go away. Things are more difficult to find. So when I had those fake social media apps, it was easy. It was just, you guys have all had Facebook or Instagram. You just scroll right down and see whatever you want to see. With Snapchat, they don't stay on there forever, so it is a little more difficult for us to monitor. I'm going to put this up there, even though both my kids have said they're not familiar. I saw this at a national training I attended. When you look at your child's Snapchat friends, they usually have little emojis by it, okay? Here are what some of these emojis allegedly mean. Some of them are nice, no big deal. Gold heart, your best friends. You send the most snaps to this person, and they send the most snaps to you. Isn't that sweet? Then you go down. Smile. This one's one of your best friends. You send a lot of snaps, but it isn't your best friend. Smirk. You're their best friend, but they're not yours. They're actually breaking all these things down, okay? Snap streaks. Does anybody know, can anybody raise your hand if you are familiar with snap streaks? Yes. These things are like the lifeblood to Snapchat users, and it blows my mind. What a snap streak is something very simple. You send a picture to one particular person every day. No matter what the picture is, it's irrelevant. You just have to have contact with them every day, and that starts your streak. I talk to kids in 6th grade in my town today, And one girl said, my snap streak with my best friend is 314 days. When my teenage son was getting an update on his phone, they did not have the phone he wanted, so we had to wait like 11 hours till they opened the next day. They were going to have the color he wanted shipped over. So he realized overnight, I'm not going to have my phone. And in the middle of the car, he panicked at like a red light. Oh, gee, give me your phone. What? Give me your phone. So he signed out of my Snap, he signed into his Snap, and he sent his 3 streaks to the people that were important to him, gave me my phone back. That was a 15-year-old boy, okay? It made me laugh quite heavily, but this is important to them, okay? Although I like to make fun of it, we actually have to acknowledge and respect it a little bit because it's their world. And if we just laugh at them and blow it off, that's going to be something where they're maybe not going to come to us later. So let's jump into Instagram. Very similar to Facebook, age requirements 13. Instagram stories, they're copying Snapchat there. All right, they're realizing they're falling behind, so they're doing a lot of copying. Kids can live stream. The hashtags help find like-minded users. What I mean by that is you can go on Instagram and hashtag Plainfield East fight. If anybody witnessed a fight here at this high school and put it on video, recorded it, or heard about it, they're going to hashtag, okay? They're going to hashtag something, whether it be, oh, you know, hashtag he lost, hashtag whatever. But you can hashtag your own community. You can hashtag your neighborhood. You can hashtag the park district, the school district, whatever it is. If you go on Instagram and hashtag things, you can find them quickly, whether you're friends or followers with that person or not. That's number 1. Number 2, if kids have an inkling to do something that isn't good, that isn't appropriate, and they want to know more information about it, they can go on Instagram and hashtag that, and it will take them to other people that think like that, okay? No matter what it is, positive or negative. So that's something to be aware of. The hashtag is an easy way for kids to go find like-minded users. Next, the small boxes designate how your photos are displayed. Doesn't really make a difference. Instagram Direct is the most common way they communicate. It's very similar to Facebook Messenger. It's a little more private, which is not necessarily a good thing, but it's better than reposting everything and things like that. So basically think of Instagram Direct as Facebook Messenger. It's the same thing. The direct option is easier to use, and it's gonna be more likely that if there's inappropriate content, that's where it's gonna be, okay? Private messaging, talking one-on-one to people. So that's a little bit about Instagram. TikTok used to be called Musical.ly, they got bought out. Cute lip sync videos, they're 15 seconds long. The younger kids love it. My daughter, when she was younger, patented the slow motion hair flip at the end of every single video, no matter if it was a happy song or a sad song, it didn't matter. She had to do that. Same age requirement. The creativity is a lot of fun, and what I do like about the app is it actually encourages kids to be positive. Instead of comment, it says, say something nice. So they're trying, okay? Let me get to the quick of all this. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, the list goes on and on. You pick an app, here's the same answer. They do not care at all about your child's safety. None of them, okay? They don't care. They do not work well with law enforcement. None of them. When I conducted my Facebook investigation on the attempted suicide, it took me 6 weeks to get the information I needed to get. There is no 1-800 number police officers can call. There is no security division we can speak to. We have to send subpoenas, emails, and things ordered by the court. They do not want to cooperate with us, and they don't care about your child's safety. And I tell the kids that very directly. Well, you can report it. Great, report it. That's something that somebody mandated they have because they don't want to get sued. There's an age requirement, 13. Why? Because they mandated they have it, so you don't get sued. That's all it is, okay? So social media apps, no matter what they say or project, or no matter what, thing they're trying to spread out to the news, like, hey, we're doing everything we can to stop cyberbullying. No, they're not. They don't care, okay? They're just doing it for PR. A little more about TikTok. Clicking on the red plus at the bottom gets things started. You can pick your songs or different filters. Again, you can direct message on there, not something that I necessarily like about it. I would encourage all kids on every app to set your account to private, use all the privacy features they have to offer. Exclusion, again, can be an issue. And some of the song lyrics can be questionable. It's just up to parents to, keep an eye on that kind of stuff. So When it comes to the privacy settings, kids should be using them on all the devices. It's not the end-all be-all. It doesn't prevent everyone from accessing your information, but it sure makes it a lot harder. So when they're in place, it's easy to use. That's something they should do. Okay? Another thing, and we had a talk, this was several TikTok apps ago. As you can see, her videos have her face. That's normal, no problem. Up there, that's her, standing in a parking lot taking a picture. As soon as I saw that, I said, no, take it down, change your name, put a nickname up there, take your regular picture off, put a picture of our family dog, put a picture of Dora the Explorer, your favorite ice cream, I don't care. I encourage kids, don't have your real image as your screensaver. Don't have your real name as your screensaver. That's something you should encourage them to do as well. My daughter's initial response, being young, was, how are people going to find out it's me? And I said, bingo. Your friends you're going to tell them, I'm B-E-A-N-Z, whatever that is. You will tell your friends at school, come follow me on Musical.ly, here is my name. You're sharing that information so your friends can find you. I do not need a grown adult that lives in his mom's basement in Ohio following you on Musical.ly, okay? So limit the amount of information you're sharing. Don't put your real picture as your screensaver. Now the videos obviously have you, okay? But that's the videos your friends and followers are seeing, the people you've invited there. So the less information they put on their main page, the better. Some parents were concerned about other things besides cyberbullying, and I got a little slide for that. Avoiding online predators. This is not my exact area of expertise, but unfortunately I've had to deal with several things in this regard. The number one thing I found from talking to other people that are more knowledgeable than me and from experiencing it myself is parents just need to communicate with your kids and monitor what they're doing. That's the number one way to keep the online predators away. We're beyond the times of take away the device. We're beyond the times of shut it off, okay? The horse is out of the barn, like I said. We gotta learn how to live in their world. Monitor them and keep the lines of communication open, okay? We're gonna get into that more. Using the privacy settings on whatever they're doing, very important. If they're online gaming, when my kids first got Xbox Live, I was floored and jealous. I went, wait a minute, what do you mean Xbox Live? You can play video games against anybody? Yeah. So you don't just plug it in and play it and then you're done? You play against other people and compete? Yeah. Wow, why didn't I have that? I like Space Invaders, that's all I had. And I like that. So when I got the lay of the land from the gentleman at Best Buy, who was very helpful, I think he was in that Geek Squad thing, I told the boys, okay, you can have Xbox Live, I'll pay for it for a month, we'll see how it goes. You cannot play against people you do not know. You can play your cousins, your neighbors, your friends at school, you can play people you know. Play against them, play with them. But I don't want to come in here and hear you playing Call of Duty or hockey with some grown man in a Led Zeppelin shirt that lives in his mom's basement. I'm not picking on that guy, but I know he's out there somewhere, and it's a very simple reference for me. So that was a rule I had. When it came to online gaming, you can online game, it's against people you know. Then they went and introduced Fortnite and other things like that. And you're playing against anybody, you don't know who, you just sign up and you're in, right? What they can do is turn off the chat, turn off the audio, limit the amount of interaction you have with these people. Just play the game, okay? And there are features on every game and every gaming console, whether it be PS4 or Xbox Live, where you can do things like that. So limiting the amount of information they're sharing when they're playing online gaming is helpful too. Next is tell your kids never to change apps or go to direct messenger if somebody asks. And it doesn't even have to be a stranger. Okay? The online predator's trick is I'm going to go on these apps as a kid. I'm going to pretend to be a kid. I'm going to bond. I'm going to talk. I'm going to get into the world. I'm going to gain their trust and friendship. And that's when I'm going to say, hey, why don't we leave Instagram and go to Kik? Or why don't we leave Instagram and go to Instagram Direct? I want to, talk one-on-one. If anybody's telling your kid to do that, and they don't personally know who that person is, they should not be doing that. All right? That's where the bad things start to happen. Based on my experience and the things I've heard kids tell me, is yeah, everything was fine. I was friends with this person for like 3 months. They lived in another town, we had a lot in common, I really related to them. Then they asked me to DM them, and that's when they sent that picture. Okay, so those are the things that are happening there. And the bottom line is just limit the amount of personal information your kids are giving out. I share one story with the kids because it actually scared me, and this is a long time ago. A 12-year-old girl, we got a call to a house that a 12-year-old girl was being threatened. The call came out at 1 in the morning in the summer night. So I'm working midnight shift then. I go to the house, the mom's crying, the 12-year-old girl's crying, the dad's mad. Here's what happened. The 12-year-old went to bed with a laptop Wednesday night in the summer. Mom and dad went to bed. The daughter got online, went into a chat room, and started to chat with 3 of her friends. 2 local people, and 1 was a cousin from another state. They met, they communicated in a chat room, they were just talking. A different person attempted to engage them in the chat room. It had a guy's username, I think. The girls ignored him for a while, and then finally, the girls got mad. They put the guy on blast. They started to trash him. Hey, weirdo, leave us alone. Why don't you hop out of here? It's none of your business. So he engaged the girl from my town individually and said, boy, you really got a smart mouth. And she said, yeah, bleepity bleep bleep. And he said, wow, you don't know how to act when you're on a computer. The next thing the girl knew, something happened to her computer. She got kicked out of the chat room. Okay, simple glitch, signed back in, went back, found her friend, started the chat. When she got back in, this person said, hi, welcome back, are you ready to be nice? She's like, no, not ready to be nice, loser, leave us alone, we already told you, this, that, and the other. She's kicked out of the chat room again. This 12-year-old girl, 1 in the morning, puts 2 and 2 together and says, oh my God, I think whoever this person is kicking me out somehow. So she goes back in a 3rd time to tell her friends, something weird's going on, everybody let's leave this chat room. When she gets back in, the gentleman again, and it turned out it was a man, said, you're back, are you ready to play nice? Now she's not threatening him and calling him names, now she goes, look, you're scaring me, can you please leave me alone? And he said, well, I apologize, maybe we can talk person to person. Give me your phone number and I'll call you and we can talk this out. And the girl said, there's no way I'm going to give you my phone number. He then typed her home phone number into the chat room. That's when the computer went off, she went crying to mom and dad and called us. We did a 3-week investigation, we seized the computer, we did some research. It turned out the guy lived somewhere, I want to say it was South Barrington, or Barrington, one of them. 39-year-old man, no criminal history, never done anything wrong, never even had a parking ticket. We sent the detectives from that town knocking on his door, and he said, yeah, it's me. What are you doing talking to teenagers online and scaring them in the middle of the night? What are 12-year-old girls doing online in the middle of the night? That was his response. We had nothing criminal to arrest him on. He was able to gain all this information through his knowledge of computers, access their IP address, was able to Google it, and do all this stuff in the 20 or 30 minutes he was engaging with these kids and so online. So these are the types of things that happen. Kids have to limit the amount of personal information they are putting out there, plain and simple. Next, some common questions parents have, and probably some of the ones you might have had when you came here tonight. Okay, you've sufficiently done it. I don't like social media. Should I just not let my child on it? No, that's not our goal tonight, okay? My goal is to get you to understand the dangers and the pitfalls and to get you to engage your children about it because this is the world they're living in. Now, am I here to tell you what age you should allow your child on there? That's not my business, okay? My ages have changed in my own family. Both my boys are very grumpy that their 11-year-old 6th grade sister has her first smartphone when they had to wait until they were 13. Okay? A, times have changed, it's been 5 years. B, my 11-year-old daughter is way more mature right now than my 13-year-old boys were back then. Okay? So times change. I'm not here to dictate to you a specific age or date that your kid can get on this stuff. That's up to you. And we'll get into that in a minute. But no, don't worry about it. So long as we're on there monitoring and engaging our kids, it should be okay. Do I need software? There's handouts that are out on the table. Some of you may grab them. If you haven't, you can grab them on the way out. The front side of the handout, monitoring software, good ideas for new phones, for a kid's first phone, and some good websites that are extremely helpful. The one I will plug again is commonsensemedia.org. Outstanding, okay? Very informative. I follow them on Twitter. I engage with them on a regular basis via email. I get stuff sent to me. That's literally people getting on there, doing Instagram on a trial run. I had it. Here's what I liked about it. Here's what I didn't. Would I let my kid have it? Yes or no? Extremely informative stuff. So those are handouts that are out there. There's on the back side of that same form is how to delete apps, because sometimes kids get the app on their phone and they didn't have permission and you want to delete it. And I can't tell you how many parents told me, yeah, I wanted to delete it, but my son doesn't know how, so we just told him not to use it. They know how, okay? Now you know how, so it's on the form, take it when you leave. I personally have never used any monitoring software for my kids. I engage them, I talk to them, I trial run everything, I look at everything. Sometimes, wow, it can be a little labor intensive, but it's worth it. So if you need monitoring software, great, go for it. The ones I listed on the form, I've never personally used. They're just the ones that come highly recommended on the internet. Same thing with the phones. So I have no personal stake in any of that stuff. You can choose what you want. How do I prevent anything bad from happening? You can't. All you can do is do all you can, okay? It's the same thing, guys. Think about it when they're 2 years old at the park and you're letting them wander off for the first time or go on this for the first time, and they're gonna go down the slide when they're 4 or 5 by themselves. We all sit on the park bench on the edge of our seat. Oh boy, okay, he made it, she made it. It's the same thing on social media, okay? It's the same thing on the internet. Just be there for them. Be knowledgeable about it, pay attention, stay engaged, talk to them, educate them, okay? That's gonna be your best resource. My favorite thing is when I see cyberbullying, and I go talk to the victim of it privately, and I say, look, I saw what happened on Instagram the other day, you okay? And the kid, junior high age, goes, yeah, why do I care what he thinks? Oh my God, I love that kid. That's how we protect them. We give them self-esteem. We give them confidence. We let them know that all these popularity things and likes and followers are meaningless, okay? Be a good person. Be confident. Be responsible. And then these things, it's like they're Teflon then, all right? I don't care what you said because it doesn't hurt my feelings because you're a clown and you're not even my friend. Bye. That's what I love hearing from kids, and that's how we can protect them. So what can parents do? Here you go. Number one, you got to figure out, is my kid ready? All right? Some simple tips I can give you. To each family, it's their own. I was very active in coaching my kids in sports, Little League Baseball, travel baseball, softball. My daughter was competitive dance and cheer, all kinds of stuff. Very simply put, if your child plays a sport and they don't do well in the game, and they throw a fit, and they cry, and they throw a bat or a helmet, and they sit and pout for 20 minutes, they're not ready for social media. If your children come down to the dinner table at night, and one of them gets in a physical altercation with the other over who's sitting in what chair, they're not ready for social media, okay? You can know. You know your child, I don't, okay? Of my 3 kids, my oldest is my bravest. He's the one that tests the waters. For the most part, he did okay. My middle one, way too aggressive, overreacted, responded, fed right into the fire early on social media. We had to rein him in back in 8th grade. My daughter, she's doing very well. She's extremely kind and well-adjusted, and I think she's seen all the pitfalls of her older brothers, and it's helped her a lot, okay? You know your kids, I don't. So make the decision, are they ready? Once you come to that decision, you need to research the apps. When we go to buy clothes at the store, we try them on. When we go to buy a car, we test drive it. How many times, think about it and be honest, because I'm guilty of it too, how many times have we allowed our kids to have an app or a game without even giving it a second thought, other than, okay, what is it? Does it cost money? No. Okay, go. That's how I found out my daughter had Musical.ly. We were at a travel baseball tournament, her mom wasn't there yet. She's all alone, 9 years old, sitting under a tree, bored. Hey Dad, can I get this Musical.ly app? It's this fun thing where we're, what? How much does it cost? Nothing. Okay, yeah, get the app. On the car ride home, my then 13-year-old son, my phone rang, and I'm like, hey, so that's so-and-so answered, tell him where we're at. He looks and he goes, you have Musical.ly? I don't know what you're talking about. You have Musical.ly. Oh my God. So then he opens it, because he literally thought Dad is out there doing Musical.ly videos. Which I would have totally killed on. But I'm like, and I just turned around at a red light and I looked at my little girl and she's in the back with a big smile. I'm like, what is that? I fell for it, okay? Don't fall for it. Research the apps. Get information. Go to these websites like commonsensemedia.org. Talk to your friends whose kids have it. Do a little research before you say yes. Don't just blindly say yes. Then know their passwords and tell them to use their privacy settings. One of my favorite debates I've ever seen was my ex-wife and my oldest son when I came home from work one day. Walked into the house, she's on this side of the kitchen counter, he's on that side. Mom versus 14-year-old. Here is what I heard. Give me the numbers. What's the problem? Give me the numbers. You don't trust me? What's the big deal? I want the code. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't believe you don't trust me. Excuse me, hi, I'm home. What's the problem? He changed the 4-digit code on his iPhone. I can't even open it now. Give her the code. No, I don't know why you guys don't trust me. Problem solved. I took the phone off the counter. I started to walk upstairs. He followed me, of course, because it's like I took his wallet or something. Dad, what are you doing? I'm not giving you the code. Okay, don't give me the code. I'll deactivate the phone, I'll sell it, and I'll stop paying my $17.45 a month that I pay. You're saving me almost 20 bucks a month. Cool, thank you. Okay, the code is 1932. Know their passwords. When they try to change them, catch them. If they do modify it, hold them accountable, okay? Don't let them have free reign on there. Set the rules, the easy part, enforce them, the hard part. Every parent's good at saying what's going to happen. Make it happen, okay? If you're still married, make it a tag team. Don't always let somebody be a bad guy or somebody be a good person, okay? If you say, here is what, like for example, my daughter's 11. She can be on her phone between the hours of 3:30 and 9:30. She can be on her phone for a total of 2 hours. I'm thinking I'm extremely generous. She's thinking I'm horrible and mean. She gets an hour before dinner, probably an hour after dinner. If something happens, I don't like what she's doing. She's misbehaving in the house, not doing her chores, didn't do her homework. The phone goes away, all right? If I monitor it and see it, and she has a new app, she's in trouble. The app's deleted, the phone goes away, okay? You control it, all right? That's the most important part. You need to monitor their online activity regularly. I do not want you to be their Snapchat friend, okay? And do the cool little filters and share it with each other, because that's kind of weird, okay? Be the parent. Monitor them. You can see what they're doing, you can check them out, but don't be on there being buddy-buddy, because that's not what they need. They need the parent, as you can see at the bottom. Be the parent, not the friend. Engage them, talk to them, listen to them, really listen to them. They will, if you put a quarter in a kid and say, tell me about your social media, tell me about this Snapchat, how did you do that? Oh my God, they will talk forever. My daughter loves explaining how she does all the cool gadgets and filters and all that stuff. Number one, I'm not really that interested, because it's not my cup of tea, but I am interested in her. We have to be in their world, okay? We can't ignore their world and say, we're grown-ups, we don't have time for that, see you later. Because then they're not gonna come to you if they have a problem. The 3 reasons kids tell me, and they've been telling me this for a decade, why they do not go to mom and dad when there's a problem on social media or cyberbullying or sexting or whatever. Number 1 reason, they're gonna take it away. They're not gonna help me. They're not gonna solve the problem. They're gonna take my phone away or tell me to delete the app. So I will not tell them. But you're being cyberbullied and it's really bad and you're very upset and you're having trouble handling it. I know, but I'd still rather be on there getting cyberbullied than not be in that world, because every other kid is in that world. So the number 1 thing they won't tell mom and dad, they're gonna take it away from me. The number 2 thing, they're gonna overreact, okay? Raise your hand, be honest, if you've ever considered commenting back to a nasty kid that said something nasty to your kid. Absolutely right.
I get it.
No, yes. I would not recommend that. My ex-wife actually chased a bus once. I found that very entertaining. Yes. But you have to be on there to monitor it and help them, okay? You don't have to be on there to fight their battles for them. You have to be on there to monitor and help them. So if they come to you, don't automatically take it away. Don't automatically overreact. And at least, last but not least, they don't do anything. They don't care. They don't know what I'm doing. They don't care. Those are the 3 reasons kids give me why they don't tell mom and dad when they're in trouble, okay? And getting back to the monitoring software real quick, I've had parents go, hey, I got that monitoring software on one of the recommendations you gave me. It was awesome. I caught my daughter doing this. Oh, okay. Did she know you were monitoring? No. So you kind of spied on her, caught her in the act, and held her accountable. How did that work out? Good. Oh, I knew she was doing it. All right, how old's your kid? 15. All right. And he's like, what? I said, well, you won the battle, but you may have lost the war. Okay, you spied on your daughter. You don't have to spy on them, ladies and gentlemen. They're yours, okay? And I'm not talking about the phone. I'm talking about the person. They are yours. They're your property until they become 18 and a successful adult and they leave your home. I have a 19-year-old. He's not as successful as I'd like yet. He's still in my home, okay? So he gets a little more freedom, but not much. These kids belong to you. They do not have privacy, okay? They have the amount of privacy you allow them to have. Remember the Roseanne show back in the day when it was good in the 80s and she took Becky's door off? That's what I'm talking about, okay? Don't go home and take doors off, but you can if you want. The clothes are yours, the bed is yours, the computer's yours, the phone's yours, everything's yours. And if you keep allowing them to be entitled, swear to God, I heard this literally this week. 5th graders in my community having trouble. I had to talk about cyberbullying. I said, let your parents know what's going on. Do you go to your parents for help? Well, some of them do, some of them don't. Parents need to monitor better, guys, and that would help you, right? A 10-year-old girl raised her hand. Yeah, Officer Bean. So like when I go to bed at night and I charge my phone in my parents' room, I can give them permission to check my stuff? My head almost exploded. The teacher in the back of the room literally left the classroom. And I went, did you just, thankfully a classmate went, you don't have to give them permission, they're your parents, man. Yes, okay, but we have kids out there that think like that, okay? I love telling elementary and junior high and even high school kids, hey, you guys hear about the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and all the freedoms we have and the amendments? It's pretty cool, right? None of it applies to you. It doesn't, okay? Monitor them. Be in their business. Their business is your business. I tell kids, when you leave the house, what do parents need to know? Where are you going? Who are you with? They tell you what time to be home. The same applies on the internet. What are you doing? How long are you going to be on there? Who are you talking to? Okay? Those are things you should be doing. And again, don't friend and follow and be their buddy. Be their parent. Take their phone once in a while and check it. It doesn't have to be every single day at this time. I'm looking through everything you ever did in your life. No. All right? Trust your kid till they give you a reason not to trust them. Then you intervene. When I monitor, one of my oldest, and I was so happy he did this, he came to me and said, this girl that lives in our neighborhood that you know sent me some suggestive pictures. They were in 8th grade. Thankfully, it really wasn't as suggestive as I thought, based on how his description was. But when he showed me, his concern was, I want to tell you, but I don't want you to overreact and run down the street and talk to her parents. I said, I'm not her parent. I'm your parent. So then I got to have a conversation with my 13-year-old boy about why do you think this girl is sending those pictures to you? She likes attention. Okay, good. Now as a 13-year-old boy, you can't take advantage of that. Do you understand? Yeah, no, I'm saying. No, a lot of kids will get that picture, get the vibe the picture sent, and start doing inappropriate things, requesting pictures from her, and doing things they shouldn't be doing, okay? You know her, she's your friend. I'm not gonna go down there and tell her parents, but you can talk to her, right? You can talk to her and say, hey, I got the picture, you look cute and everything, but really, should you be sending that to other people? That'd mean a lot coming from you, okay? So I talked to my kid, I parented my kid, and my kid appreciated that. That's what you should do. Don't worry about all the other kids out there, you can't control them, okay? You can control what's in your house, and you can control how your kid responds to the stuff they may see, okay? But if they don't like how you're going to react, they're not going to come to you with it. Be their parent, not their friend. Talk with your kids and ask them questions. Like I said, you put a quarter in them, they're going to tell you everything you want to know. They're going to share way more information than you even want sometimes. But engaging them and talking to them and monitoring them is how we solve this problem. We can't take away electronics. It would be awesome. I would love it. And New York School District years ago had a policy that you can't even bring a phone into the school building. High school too. It was a policy for the city of New York. It worked. Then the new mayor came in, running on a platform, telling parents, you have the freedom to allow your child to have that phone. You have the freedom to communicate with your child. We're getting rid of that rule. Wow, if I was superintendent for a day, that would be my rule. You don't need phones. You like them, they're convenient. Kids that get used to not having them, guys. It's everybody in this room that causes the problems because we say, I gotta get in touch with my kid. What if they missed the late bus? What if I gotta pick them up? What if this? What if that? There's a phone in the office, okay? There's other ways to communicate. Remember back when we were kids? You'd be gone for 8 hours, and you came, as long as you were home when the street light came on, they didn't ask questions, you didn't give answers, okay? We survived, okay? We are using it as a crutch to keep communicating with our kids. Now, sometimes it's a necessity, sometimes it's not. But think about it. We go to airports, right? After 9/11, we take our shoes off all the time. I don't even hear anybody complain anymore. You're just robots. You take your shoes off, put them in the bin, you go. When it first came out, we didn't like it, okay? But we got used to it. If somebody came and said, kids, you don't need phones in schools, the kids would not like it, but they get used to it. You can limit how often they're on there. You can limit their involvement. You can make sure they're ready. All these things fall on you. If you left a kid alone with their Halloween candy when they're 8 and 10 years old, they're going to eat it all, right? We can't just give them a phone and say, there you go, I hope you act right on there, behave. You can't do that. You've got to stay engaged. And trust me, with kids being as old as I got them now, 19 and 16, I always go back to the park. When they're a little kid, they're 4 or 5 years old, and you take them to the park and they go play. When they're going to do something, what is it that they always say to you? They're going to go down the slide. What do they say to mom and dad? I'm going down the slide. Watch, watch, watch. You've been down the slide 31 times. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, that was even better than the other 30 times. Great job. That's what we do, right? When they're little, they want us to watch them. When they're 16 and they're 19, they still want you to watch them. They're just not going to ask like that anymore, okay? Find whatever niche you got with whatever kid you got and work on that. My oldest and I, it's Walking Dead, and it's still pro wrestling. We can sit down and watch Monday Night Raw or an episode of Walking Dead, and he thinks we're watching the show. And I'm using it as my opportunity to spend time with him and talk to him about life and other things that are going on. My middle child, it was sports. My daughter, she's my baby girl. I will do whatever she wants. She has me wrapped around her finger. I will let her put makeup on me and all kinds of goofy stuff. But while we're doing that, we're talking, all right? She shared with me just the other night, she has a boyfriend. She's an 11-year-old 6th grader. So I said, oh, well, what does that mean? Yeah, I don't know. It's not like we're going to go on a date, I guess. Okay, then yes, I like you having a boyfriend. I'm sure he's a nice kid. Communicate with him. That's how we solve these problems. Communicate, parent, monitor, have fun, get involved. They want to share this stuff with you. Thank you guys very much. I'm happy to stick around and answer any questions. Here's how you can get in touch with me. Like me on Facebook. Come follow me on Twitter. It gives me some boost my self-esteem. So, thank you guys very much. Any questions you have, we're happy to stick around and answer them. So, I appreciate you coming out tonight. Thanks.